Hello and welcome to Trackmania Awards 2017. Today is another special episode. We will nominate 4 players in 3 different awards. Nominating for today is Canyon Player of the Year, Valley Player of the Year, and Lagoon Player of the Year. My guest has a big knowledge in all of these 3 environments. Hello, EYEBO.
Hello, glad to be here.
How are you, man?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. For people that might not know who you are, can you give them a short introduction?
Sure. So I'm currently a site leader on Mania Exchange. I've been playing all 3 environments since they first came out in Mania Planet.
Before we start, how has the year been for these 3 environments? Has it been a lot of activity, or has it been kind of a dead year for those environments?
I'd say it's been better than maybe the last few years. Canyon's had a lot of activity, and so did Valley. Lagoon, of course, is just brand new, so it's kind of just getting started. But we had some events there as well, so I think it was a pretty good year for all 3.
Nice. Let's start with the Canyon Player of the Year. What did you have in mind when picking the 4 nominees for Canyon Player of 2017?
So I looked at several events. There was actually 49 Smurfs Cups in Canyon this year. And in fact, there's 2 more that are scheduled before the end of the year. Mania Exchange also hosted 18 Canyon knockouts this year. But that's, of course, just since Mania Planet 4 was released in May. Before that, the knockouts were multi-environment every week. ESL also hosted the Canyon Endurance Premiership with 20 teams, the Canyon Team Premiership with 10 teams, and the Canyon Solo Premiership with 40 players. There was great streams of all those events by riolu, and Juvo. And then also WAS hosted the HUNTMANIA 2, and the World Trial Club hosted Trial Master 2017. And there was more that happened in Canyon, but that was the basis for my nominations for Canyon.
Who was the first to be nominated for a Canyon Player?
So the first is Suiram, and he won the Smurfs Cup Canyon 18 times, plus he was on podium an additional 16 times. He also made it to finals in the ESL Canyon Solo Premiership against AndreFrei, and he won the ESL Canyon Team Premiership playing with Team Dexterity. His teammates there were AndreFrei and Taki. And then he also won ESL Canyon Endurance Premiership playing with Team Velocity, also with his teammates AndreFrei and Nico. And then he won 10 out of the 11 maps in HUNTMANIA 2, and he was also on podium once in the MX Knockout Canyon.
Why? Who's the second player to be nominated for Canyon Player of 2017?
So the second one is AndreFrei. He won Smurfs Cup Canyon 7 times, plus he was on podium an additional 6 times. And he won the ESL Canyon Solo Premiership against Suiram. And he was also won ESL Canyon Team Premiership with Team Dexterity. There again, his teammates were Suiram and Taki. And he won the ESL Canyon Endurance Premiership with Team Velocity. And his teammates there were Suiram and Nico.
Why? The third player to be nominated for Canyon Player of 2017.
Meb.12. He won the MX Knockout Canyon 6 times, plus an additional 1 time he was on podium. He won Smurfs Cup Canyon 4 times, plus was on podium an additional 3 times. And also made it to finals in the Canyon Endurance Premiership, playing with Team RWP, Racing Without Pants. And his teammates there were Anxiety, Bull, and Vandal.
Spot left. Who's the last player to be nominated and why?
The last one is Skuggaco. He made it to finals in the Canyon Team Premiership, playing with the team Hype Boys. His teammates there were Anxiety and Meb.12. He also won Smurfs Cup Canyon 6 times, and with an additional 3 times on podium. And he won the MX Knockout Canyon 1 time, plus was on podium an additional 1 time.
Okay, let's move over to Valley Player of 2017. What did you have in mind when picking the 4 nominations here?
So Valley got a really nice update this year. There was a lot of new blocks added, and it was optimized a lot, so the environment's a lot faster. So it was a lot of fun to play. And so Smurfs hosted actually 25 Smurfs Cups in Valley this year, including their 100th Cup in Valley, which was pretty cool. I got to be there for that one. That was a lot of fun. Mania Exchange hosted 14 Valley knockouts this year. And in fact, there's 2 more scheduled before the end of the year. But since those are all regular events in Valley, those are the ones that served as the basis for my nominations.
It's the first player to be nominated for Valley Player of 2017.
Players some people might know, Riolu. He won MX Knockout Valley 4 times, and he won Smurfs Cup Valley 12 times. In fact, he won every cup he played in.
Who's the second player to be nominated and why?
Marius89. He won MX Knockout Valley 4 times, plus was on podium an additional 4 times. He won Smurfs Cup Valley 4 times and was on podium an additional 10 times.
The third player to be nominated for Valley Player of 2017 is
Lars. He won MX Knockout Valley 2 times, plus he was on podium an additional 4 times, and he won Smurfs Cup Valley 1 time, and he was on podium an additional 6 times.
the last player to be nominated for Valley Player of 2017.
Mad.dox. He won Smurfs Cup Valley 5 times, and he was also on podium an additional 4 times.
Players, let's move over to the new environment, Lagoon. What did you have in mind when picking the 4 players in this environment?
So yeah, as you know, Lagoon is not brand new. It came out last year in Trackmania Turbo, but it was released this year in TM2 back in, I think it was May or somewhere around there. And we immediately incorporated into the Mini Exchange knockouts. There were actually 14 Mini Exchange knockouts in Lagoon this year. And as far as I know, I think it was the only organized online event in the environment. So that was the basis for my the nominations. There's actually 2 more Lagoon knockouts scheduled before the end of the year. Like I think it's on December 30th. So it's always a nice group that turns up for the knockouts. Usually around 35 players. So it's a tough fight to get to the top.
Nominated for Lagoon Player of 2017.
Deska was the first nomination. With he won Mini Exchange Knockout 3 times and was on podium 4 times.
Been nominated and why?
Juvo, he won MX Knockout 3 times and he was on podium once as well.
Who is it and why?
Riolu, he won MX Knockout 2 times and was also on podium once, but he also rules the Lagoon solo rankings with a 6.5 million point lead, which is pretty amazing.
It leaves only 1 spot left. Who's the last player to be nominated for Lagoon Player of 2017 and why?
Voyager 006. He won the Mini Exchange Knockout 1 time and he was 4 times on podium.
I've nominated 4 players in 3 different awards. Has it been hard to pick the nominees or has it been fairly easy?
No, it was, it was probably the hardest in Canyon. There was a lot of competition. There were several players that could have been nominated instead, but I had to make the judgment call to go with the ones I did. The ones that won the most events across multiple different events, and yeah, it was tough.
That's a good sign, isn't it? That there is some competition going on.
It is. There's a lot of competition going on. It's great to see.
3 different awards. You can go on Twitter and vote. And yeah, I will be back tomorrow with a new guest, and I will let you have the final word, EYEBO.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for stepping up, man. It's been a pleasure, and the 3 awards special episode has been a pleasure. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.